And welcome back to win another Magneto Who Win from Mr. Darkholm. Who won the fight, Static Shock or Magneto? Now, I had to double check on Static's abilities overall, but yeah, I can see how this one would be one of those fights where you're like, who the hell wins this? So Magneto, obviously, again, Eric Lencher, born in 19. Well, he wasn't born in 1940s. I think he was born in 1930s, but he was a Jewish concentration camp member during the Nazis, time in Poland. But that's when his mutation activated, and having seen the horrors of men, wanted something better for mutants out there. So it became mutant supremacy, and he advocated for that his whole life. His mutation allowed him to completely control the electromagnetic spectrum, allowing him to manipulate metal. That seems to be his main ability, but he also can create electromagnetic fields, even control atmosphere and space inside his shield, his sphere. He can manipulate metal on a humongous scale. Like, he can manipulate metal on a, not universal scale, or electromagnetic spectrum, I should say, not on a universal scale, but at the point where he can affect large bodies of metal on other planets. He can literally control the Earth's electromagnetic field. He manipulated Mjolnir one time, as I've always stated, one of his most metal moments when he literally ripped out Apocalypse's mind through the electromagnetic field. He is well and truly a feared individual. He can manipulate electricity. Electricity doesn't do anything really to him, as he said in that episode. Did you forget electricity and magnetism are related? So it won't really do anything to him. He's not perfect though. He can't. I mean, obviously you can overpower him if you've got a strong enough ability. And his abilities do seem to stem a little bit from his physical condition. If he's in a worse physical state, it will affect his abilities to some degree. But he has been doing this for decades. He's well over 90 plus years old. And he's still in fantastic shape, all that. I believe there's some sort of experimentation or whatever he's done to himself, because I don't think that's a product of his mutation. Virgil Hawkins was basically caught in something known as the Big Bang, which was more or less quantum juice, I think it was, as they said. It was a explosion during a turf war that he got caught up on, a gang war, that basically exposed dozens and dozens of people, if not hundreds of people, to something that was known as quantum juice. It created this effect, this gas that if you breathe in, it activated basically a metagene, or gave you a metagene. In Virgil's case, he completely controls the electromagnetic spectrum as well. Now, his physicality is actually enhanced by this. He's actually much more physically durable and tougher than a normal person. He has a healing factor to the point where he can actually even reattach limbs through electromagnetism, because his body is now an electromagnetic body. His brain is actually almost like a pure electromagnetic organ. This allows him to be able to actually resist most psionics, if not even something as powerful as the anti-life equation, which is impressive. But generally speaking, he uses this in the way to attack with static electricity a lot of the time. We see that seems to be his base ability. He still has basically electrokinesis, magnetism. He is capable of creating force fields as well. And he's also extremely intelligent to boot. I mean, that's the general gist of both these guys. I try to remember exactly the level of power we've seen him apparently generate. He does have a couple key weaknesses, though. He's not immune to other electric bang babies, which is what they're called. He himself is a bang baby. He's also at risk of getting his powers absorbed, and he can short out too. Doesn't do well in water. Showers are difficult. He can still take showers, but showers are difficult for him. So yeah, he is not immune to everything. And in fact, he can be very easily overtaken given the right opponent. The problem here is that these two are very similar to each other in terms of power sets. Magneto theoretically could do just about anything Virgil could do, minus the fact that his physiology isn't quite the same as Virgil's. And Virgil can pretty much do just about anything Magneto can do. So the question's not going to come down to who's more powerful necessarily, though that there is still that question to be asked. Um, the question is going to be more of who knows how to use their abilities more effectively. Um, and that would be that would be the deciding factor here. It's going to come down to versatility and experience. Now, if we're talking about experience, well, Magneto's got that in spades, obviously. Versatility is a bit more of the question here. Virgil arguably has a bit more variety with what he can do, but Magneto has done stuff that Virgil just isn't prepared for. Again, the whole ripping out someone's mind through the electromagnetic fields in their head is something Virgil's really never demonstrated, and Virgil would actually be even more susceptible to this as his brain is now an electromagnetic organ to a much higher degree than the normal human brain. So, yeah, Magneto's also done things on a global scale. I think Virgil has done things similar on a global scale. I just don't recall what they are off the top of my head. But Magneto, for instance, if Magneto were to be plunged in the ocean, Magneto would not short out. He would just be like, well, this is annoying. Whoop, okay. Virgil, at least in the show, at any rate, we've seen, that is a problem for him. He can't get wet too often. Otherwise, he can short out if he's not careful. And likewise, as we stated, Virgil is actually very susceptible to having his powers taken. And Magneto, being, a master of magnetism and having a lot more experience, would very likely be able to manipulate and actually take Virgil's electromagnetism for himself if he needs to, and kind of amp himself up. So I would say it would probably be a difficult fight at first for both of them. Neither of them would be able to get a real clear-cut edge over the other. It wouldn't be until Magneto kind of says, kind of gets tired of this, that he just says, okay, and you can feel probably the electromagnetic field within Virgil is souped up. So we could probably honestly just start yanking his power out. And yeah, Virgil probably wouldn't be able to do anything because Virgil can't steal power. He can charge himself and get charged up, certainly. But he can't steal power. Whereas Magneto actually could do that in some degree and manipulate someone like a Virgil without too much difficulty. So, long story short, and in celebration of the Magneto versus Tetsuo fight today, I will say it will probably be Magneto, but it would be a long drawn out fight for a while between them until one of them ultimately takes the advantage over the other. And for my money, I think it would be Magneto. So I'm going to go Magneto in this fight. Who do you got in this fight, though? Do you got Magneto or you got Static? Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.